The person that hates their friend is not going to tell them that they're wrong. They're not going to go to the Christmas party and say, hey, listen, we don't drink, so I don't want any alcohol around us. Amen. Nothing, not a drop. But you know what the weakling does? He compromises. He holds back. You know, hopefully you're spending time with a family that's saved over Christmas. But when they start getting involved in wickedness, you need to put your foot down and say, no, I don't care if you're saved or not. I'm not hanging around this junk. We got to go. We're in the car. You got two options. You put the booze away or we're going home. Those are your two options. Amen. We're not compromising. Oh, you're being mean to your family. No, I love them. Because you know what choice I want them to make? You know what choice I want them to decide? Is to sit there and say, you know what? I love you too, so for the sake of tonight, I'm going to put this stuff away. And you know what? Maybe that'll last longer than that one night. You know, pray to God that they can get rid of that junk. Amen. But we ought to stay clean during those holidays. We ought to stay right with God and stand up for truth and not keep our mouth shut. Amen. Open your mouth boldly. I'll have you turn to Ezekiel 3. We're almost done here. Ezekiel chapter 3. In verse 16, the Bible says, and it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness which he hath done shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned also that thou hast delivered thy soul. So what's the principle of this? What is God saying? He's saying, listen, you're better off just letting it rip and saying, this is what's going to happen to you if you continue in this sin. God's going to destroy you. But you know what? Guess who's at fault? If, obviously the wicked is going to be punished regardless. They're going to have to pay for their sins in hell if they're not saved. Or they're going to have to pay for the sins on this earth that they've reaped what they've sown. But you know what? If a prophet stands up, if a preacher stands up, or someone that you love and you tell them the truth, at least blood won't be on your hands. Amen. At least you're clean, and you can stand before them, and you can stand before God. And when there's judgment, you can sit there and say, hey, I told you. Hey, I told you the truth, but you didn't listen to me. You know what? I would rather them be the last option where if they warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he does not sin, he shall surely live. I would take that any day of the week. But you know what? That's not everyone. Not everyone is going to go the right way when you rebuke them. Not everyone's going to go the right way when you preach hard. Not everyone's going to go the right way when you tell them that their deeds are evil. But you know what? I'd rather just say it because at least it's off my hands at that point. I'd rather go out there and knock every door and get turned away from everyone than to stand before God and say, oh yeah, I didn't do anything. How ashamed would you feel if you got before God and you stood before God and God says, well, what did you do? Sat on your hinder parts. While those people are out there going to hell. So we need to go out there and preach them the gospel. And if they like it, I love it. And if they lump it, so be it. I'm happy because I'm putting the effort out there and doing it. And you should be happy with that too. Obviously, we should be more joyful when we come back reaping a bunch of people and seeing them saved. Amen. That makes my heart glad. But you know what? Not everyone's going to choose that route. Not everyone is going to be able to take that well. And at least the blood is off your hands.